Hello and welcome. My name is Evan, and this is the Rules for Business Communication class. Today's topic is all about technology. How do you use technology in your work, and how you can talk about technology using the correct English words. Okay? So, without any other introduction, let's go straight to our vocabulary. Come on. All right, welcome back to the vocabulary section. Now, I wanted to start with a very easy word. It's 2 letters. It's on, O-N, on. That's the preposition. Preposition, in, on, at, under. On is the preposition for all the computer words, okay? Just think online, on the internet, on Facebook, on Skype, on MySpace, all right? On a website. So, one easy way to check your work, make sure you always use on for anything tech on the computer. Always use on. Now, we could also talk about hardware and software. Hardware means something physical, like your computer, your mouse, your desktop, your laptop. And software is not physical, like a program, like an antivirus software. Okay? So hardware and software, remember those. But mostly, think about your cognates. Remember, a cognate is the word that is the same in 2 languages. Okay? A cognate. We talked about that. So, cognates. So, for example, if I say blogger or website or Wi-Fi, those are the same in many different languages. English, Russian, Spanish, right? So, most of the vocabulary for technology, you know this vocabulary. So it's just remembering it from your language and pronouncing it in an English accent. Okay? So let's end really quickly. Here is a picture of hardware. Okay? You can see all of the different parts of a computer. This is hardware. This is physical. All right? So look at this picture and try to see which ones are cognates. Which ones are the same in English and your language. Okay, all right. So that's it. Now let's move on to some more useful grammar. Now let's do a quick bit of grammar / vocabulary. It's mostly about spelling, really. British versus American English. There are many words that are a little bit different, British versus American, like chips and crisps, for example, or cookie and biscuit. Those really don't make much difference in real life. You just need to, learn from the conversation, right? But there are 3 common differences in writing that I wanted to show you, so that you know, anytime you're reading something, you'll be able to see if this is British standard or American standard. And other countries fall into different categories. Canada is American standard, Australia is British standard, for example. But the 3 big differences that are important to know are ISE, I-S-E, I-Z-E, okay? Realize, hypothesize, harmonize, okay? It sounds like Z, and that's how Americans spell it, but British people, it's with an S. Same with O-R, O-U-R, like favorite, favor, flavor, color, like that. And then the last one is R-E versus E-R at the end of a word. Center, theater, for example. So I just wanted to make just a little break from the lesson so that you can see these differences. It's important for when you are communicating in English that you know what standard you're using. And again, there aren't too many important differences, but these three differences are very common. Now, when it comes to internet words and phrases, they are very universal. So we don't need to know too many differences between British and American when it comes to computer terminology, okay? Because it is new and there are always new words that are changing and evolving. So that's why for today, with technology, I wanted to talk about word formation, how we can create new words. Okay, I'll give you an example. Again, technology is always changing, so they're always creating new words. All right, for example, when computers first started, there was something called electronic mail. And then over time, it became more popular, more common, and people started calling it email. And then now it's so common that it is just one word. It kept getting smaller and smaller, shorter and shorter. And in fact, E is now a prefix for anything electronic, right? Like e-commerce, right? E-business. Okay, that just means on the computer, electronic. So as you can see, I think this is a very good example of word formation. Another example is the word log. Log is like a diary, your log, captain's log, right? You log in. And so we use that log in. And we have something called a web log that has been shortened to a blog. So if you know the word blog or blogger, it comes from a web log, which means like internet diary. That's what the words mean, and they came together to blog. And then from that word, we got video log, okay, which is the same thing. A blog is writing, a vlog, like that, is with video, like a YouTuber, for example. All of these are very new words, but they have taken older words and combined them together, right? So that's what happens with new terminology in any language. It takes things and it makes it shorter, and the more popular and common the word is, the shorter that it can become. So I'm sure a lot of you know Wi-Fi, okay? Do we know what it means? It's called wireless fidelity, like that. And then now it's Wi-Fi, and everyone knows Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a word in hundreds of languages now, and it comes from two English words put together. This idea is called a portmanteau. Portmanteau is two words that are joined together. Like how, for example, breakfast and lunch is brunch. Or friend and enemy is frenemy, right? These are two words and they create a new word, right? You could do that with anything, but especially with internet words because they're all very new. So that's a little bit about word formation. So if you see a word that is tech related, then it's probably new and it probably is some kind of combination word, a portmanteau. Now, I'm not talking about this, right? That, okay? BRB, all right? These are the English text language, okay? We call that chat speak, which again is a portmanteau, chat speak, okay? For example, LOL is laugh out loud, for example. This is chat speak. This is very informal. Do not do this in business English, in writing or speaking. They are common terms that people use on the computer, but again, they're not appropriate in a business setting. They are slang. Okay? What we need to focus on are the traditional, the real business words that people use for technology, and how many of them are accepted, formal, but they're kind of new. They are constantly changing. Okay, another example, internet is now internet. Okay? In many standards, you don't capitalize internet anymore. It's so common that we make the I small, right? So always be up to date with how to write things in the proper way, because especially with new words, they're changing a little bit each year. And while we're on the topic of word formation, here's another friendly reminder about phrasal verbs, okay? Now, we have a lot of phrasal verbs in tech writing. So anything with the internet technology, we have many phrasal verbs. Log in, log out, check in, check out, sign in, sign out. Now, download and upload, okay, it's kind of a phrasal verb. You have the verb, load, and then the preposition down, but it's backwards. So that means it's just one word, download and upload. So they're not really phrasal verbs. They're just verbs. But these are all phrasal verbs right here. Okay? Now let me show you one little thing to make sure you know the difference. You can change them a little bit. For example, I need to log in to Facebook. My login number is 3697. Okay? Now notice how I wrote them differently. Okay? Log in is a phrasal verb, 2 words. Login number, now this is an adjective. It describes the number. So you use it differently. Okay? Now it's one word, right? So we have, I need to log in, my login number, the check-in website, the checkout page, right? You can combine them together into one adjective. You could do that with any of these phrasal verbs. So just notice how they look a little bit different. FYI, that's internet speak. This right here is called a hyphen, not a dash. A dash is longer. A dash is like that. It automatically does it for you in Microsoft Word. So that's a dash, hyphen dash. So log hyphen in. All right, so try to recognize those, use them when you can. So to connect today's lesson with yesterday's lesson, let's look at some logos. We talked about logos yesterday. Now here are some popular internet logos. Look at these. These are all very popular. Some of them were popular in the past. Some of these are social media platforms. Some are retail websites. Some of them are search engines, okay, or other online resources. You should recognize many of them. Okay. But just like yesterday when we were talking about logos, all of these major companies have very clear, colorful, memorable logos. Okay. So again, general categories, we can talk about search engines, programs, software, social media platforms, retail sites, online resources, all of this terminology. So again, one last look at our logos. We'll end right there. Okay, very good. So basically, my major advice for business English for technology is don't speak and don't write the way that you would in a chat with your friends. Okay? That means LOL, happy face, heart, XOXOXO. Right? Because technology is so important and everyone uses it all day long, then it's become acceptable for people to use unacceptable words and phrases and slang in the business setting. Don't do that, right? Keep your business life separate from social media stuff. Even a fun business website should have more of a business focus than if you're just texting your friends. All of these companies do. And that is the end of our class. I hope you took notes and you understand all of the new vocabulary and the new grammar. This was a very important topic. So if you have any questions, just let us know, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you.